One of the biggest threats to a retailer's reputation is an allegation of involvement in slavery, human trafficking, or child labor. In the 1990s, the Portland-based sportswear giant was plagued with damning reports that its global supply chain was being. During the 1990s, Nike faced major backlash when it was revealed that many of its factories in developing countries had appalling working conditions. Reports uncovered that workers in countries like Indonesia, Vietnam, and China were subjected to low wages, forced overtime, and unsafe environments. Workers often endured abusive treatment and were paid so little that many couldn't afford basic living expenses. These revelations sparked protests worldwide, with activists accusing Nike of exploiting labor and profiting off sweatshop conditions. While Nike has been utilizing sweatshops since the 1970s, public awareness heightened in 1991 after Jeff Bollinger revealed the harsh working conditions of Nike factory workers in Indonesia. The report highlighted the meager wages of only 14 cents per hour, which were barely enough to cover basic living costs. This disclosure sparked public outrage, leading to mass protests at the Barcelona Olympics in 1992. Despite the backlash, Nike continued with its plans to expand Niketown's facilities that showcase a wide range of Nike-based services and experiences, further fueling resentment among consumers. Nike not only faced the sweatshop issue but also became entangled in the child labor controversy. Life magazine disclosed in 1996 a story showcasing an image of a young boy named Tariq from Pakistan, who was said to be stitching Nike footballs for a daily wage of 60 cents. From 2001 on, Nike started to audit its factories and prepared a report in which it concluded that it could not guarantee that its products would not be produced by children. Nike initially disclaimed any connection to the practices, asserting it had limited control over the contracted factories and their hiring decisions. Following the demonstrations in 1992, the establishment of a department aimed at enhancing factory conditions was the company's more tangible response. Nevertheless, this proved insufficient in addressing the issue as disputes persisted, with numerous Nike sweatshops remaining in operation. Nike laid off many workers due to increased public backlash in 1997 to 1998. The backlash against Nike was so striking that it served to tarnish the then 30-year-old company's image and negatively affect its bottom line. Sales were dropping and Nike was being portrayed in the media as a company that was willing to exploit workers and deprive them of the basic wage needed to sustain themselves in an effort to expand profits. That was not the case according to Nike's chairman and chief executive at the time, Phil Knight, who told the New York Times in 1998 that he truthfully did not think that there has been a material impact on Nike sales by the human rights attacks, and pointed instead to the financial crisis in Asia, where the company had been expanding sales aggressively, and its failure to recognize a shifting consumer preference for hiking shoes. CEO Phil Knight acknowledged the presence of unjust labor practices in Nike's production sites during his speech in May 1998. He pledged to enhance the circumstances by increasing the minimum wage and guaranteeing clean air in all factories. Nike has been lauded by critics and activists for not ignoring the ongoing sweatshop issue. Its persistent efforts have led to the gradual regain of public trust and the reassertion of its market dominance. Nike's brand was long linked with sweatshops, but since the 1990s scandal, the company has worked hard to change this perception. By increasing transparency in labor practices and implementing corporate social responsibility initiatives, Nike aims to improve its image and make a difference in the world.